What's going on today? We have the RTX 5080. This is the gaming Gigabyte OC model of the card. We'll be pairing it with the 9800X3D and 32 gigs of RAM. Everything used to create this video is linked in the description below. The only thing I want you to do is just hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into the game. All right, what's going on, everyone? We are on widescreen today. This is a 3440 by 1440p test. And we have Silent Hill F with the RTX 5080 paired with a 9800X3D and 32 gigs of RAM. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. We have quality preset set with quality DLSS. We're at 107 FPS here, so I don't think you have anything to be too worried about. This has got our Lumen completely maxed out, which is the Unreal's built-in ray tracing system. And yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean, I'm feeling like it's going to actually be pretty promising. We've got VRAM set to, our VRAM allocations right around 10.3, using about 8.8. So let's just see what we can do with a little bit of upscaling here. So right now we just have the required upscaling. You have to upscale. It was on quality, so this would be balanced. That gives us about 126 FPS. I'm not displaying the frame view because unfortunately this game does not support PCL reporting, so there's no way for me to accurately give you a response time. I am on a controller, but I can tell you right now that 113 FPS feels really, really good on a title like this. This is a slower paced title, so you don't necessarily need a super fast refresh, but you know, it is kind of nice to have something that is, just blowing right past 60 FPS and looks this good on a resolution this high. So, definitely runs really, really well. All right, so let's jump down to the very next level of upscaling. I like to kind of go through everything here. And of course, I'll have it all set up with chapter markers like I normally do. That gives us a little bit of an uplift, about 137, depending on where you're at. The game does run a little bit better down here, toward the village. The closer you get toward the village, it tends to really go up significantly. So let's head down there and see what we can expect, because right around here is pretty good. 140 FPS right there with a performance upscale. And I will say that performance upscaling looks really, really good. Now, we don't have access to frame generation in this title, but we do have DLSS smooth frames. I think I'm saying the right word. I think it's called smooth frames. But it basically simulates a 2x frame generation. When the title does not support it natively, you can enable that and smooth it out and get a really nice high refresh rate. So let's just keep going here, and we'll check that out in a second. It does require a restart. So what I want to do now is just go back up to quality, and then, well, actually, let me hit this preset. So if I go to balanced, it unfortunately just locks the FPS right there for no reason. All right, so let's go over to DLSS quality. So right now we are on the balanced preset, and really what that does is it changes your reflections from lumen, epic to screen space. So this would be the kind of like quality setting. This is what it does whenever you hit that balanced preset. So it gives you a little bit of a break there. It always does that, so just give it a second, it'll come back. And as you can see, that does significantly raise your FPS, because we are on quality upscaling right now, and we're at well over 120 FPS right here on this resolution. Now a 5080 is quite powerful, so you definitely don't need to go this high, but I really like to just show all the different GPUs from the 50 series down across over into the AMD 90 series. That's what the whole channel's kind of about. So if you're new here, and you're into that kind of thing, click that little subscribe button for me. It'll help me out for no other reason than I just really like to see the number go up. So no shame, right? I just, I really enjoy seeing my subscribers go up. It makes me happy, because that tells me at least I'm doing something right, and I'm getting a little bit of support. And hopefully this channel can be way bigger than it is right now when I'm recording this. That's the goal, at least. So if you could help me in that, that'd be awesome. All right, so right now we are just doing, just kind of, this is going to be a fine test. I mean, this isn't anything that's concerning. We are looking like we just need to test out balanced DLSS here. So balance preset with balanced DLSS gives you about 130 FPS. And again, you don't really need to go super low in any of these settings. This GPU is quite beefy, and at this is a resolution that, of course, is higher than 1440, but lower than 4K. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a middle of the road experience. It's definitely becoming a really nice way to play it. I absolutely love widescreen, so I'm glad that I'm finally able to bring these tests to you. If you have any other games and GPUs in mind that you want to see on widescreen, just let me know in the comments below. I'll try to make that happen for you. But right here we are at 126 FPS. And down here in the village, we definitely do a lot better. It increases significantly generally because you're kind of walling off those assets, and you're not having to load stuff far in the distance, because once I come around here and look up this mountain, of course it's got way more assets to have to load in. You're looking further in the distance, so it does drop it a little bit. So still a really good performer with these settings though on this card. Let's go down to performance DLSS, and that gives you about 155 FPS here. And these are kind of like the harder areas to run up here. So if you can manage 155 in these areas, you're going to be okay in the whole game. I've played about 3 or 4 hours of it, maybe 5. I'm not sure. I have to check my stats. But yeah, the way it's running here so far has been pretty homogeneous through the entire title. It's just been very evenly kind of represented in this area here. It's been pretty evenly spaced out. I mean, you got some areas that are a little bit more open, like at one point you're in a field, but it's a field. I mean, there's nothing really there. So it still runs really well, but most of the game is just in these corridors that take place in alleyways and kind of like, you don't know what's behind the, corner or around the corner kind of feeling, which is, of course, the whole vibe of the game. So definitely appreciate that they did that, but it does allow it to run significantly better because, again, you're walling off assets. You're not having to load stuff in the far distance. You're able to get a nice performing title, with just a simple art direction. And art direction really does play a huge role in these games. So I will say that you're not going to have any problems with this at all. I hate to even show you performance because it's just not, there's no point in it. I just don't think you'll have to go this low unless you just really want some crazy frames for whatever reason on this game. But I'm going to show you everything. That's kind of the way I like to do it around here. All right, so this is a quality DLSS setting with a performance kind of preset. So I know the names can be a little confusing because performance and they're naming these presets the same thing that DLSS is named, so it's kind of hard to keep track. But definitely check out the thing in the top, and that will tell you kind of where you are in the testing, so to speak. But I got chapter markers set up, of course. All right, so let's just keep on going, get through this. Then we're going to check out those smooth motion frames, or whatever the heck NVIDIA calls them. I know that AMD kind of started the smooth motion stuff, but NVIDIA finally caught up, and it definitely helps in games like this because you do not have native frame generation. For whatever reason, they left it out. Not that I think you really need it, but it would be great to kind of experience that and see how it looks, and especially on the more entry-level cards like a 5060 or a 5060 Ti or a 9060. Of course, those have the AMD stuff, but the lower-end cards definitely benefit a lot in games like this with frame generation. I feel like that's kind of one of the best uses because games like this don't necessarily need a super fast reflex time. It's not competitive. It's just more of a story. It's more slow paced. So frame generation can give you a much better experience whenever it's a game like this. Even if you don't hit 60, it can still improve the experience. So I do like frame generation in those scenarios as well. All right, so let's just keep going and get through the rest of it because I'm going to have to restart here to check out those smooth motion frames. Like I said, I hope I'm saying it right. It's kind of a new thing, so I need to check it out, but I think it's called that on NVIDIA. It's very late right now. I'm just trying to get this video done for you guys because it has been a while, and I definitely did not intend for it to be this long between videos, but we had a surgery we had to take care of in my family, so everybody's fine. Everybody's all good, but yep, they are recovering perfectly and everything's okay. But yeah, we just had to kind of take a break from the regularly scheduled programming, but now that we're back on it, I'm going to start bringing these videos back, hopefully daily. That's what I strive to do. But yeah, so if you got any ideas for another video, I would love to hear them. I love getting ideas because sometimes I don't know of games that are out there. There's tons of them, and I don't know about them unless you tell me. So if you tell me, I'll go try to find it and get it and test it out for you. All right, so we've kind of gone through all the different possibilities. So what I'm going to do is bring it back up to the quality preset. Of course, get all this junk turned off. Go back to DLSS quality. And now I'm going to restart. And before I come back, I'm going to turn on those smooth frames. And then we'll go through and see kind of what that does for the experience. All right, so I'll do that and be right back. All right, so here we are. Just kind of wanted to show you. I've got my NVIDIA app ready right here. So this is how you do it. You find your home screen, you find Silent Hill or whatever game it is you want to do. You go to settings, and this is just kind of for people who don't know. This is kind of like this is kind of like the game settings, and then down here are the driver settings. So as you can see, the DLSS is set to override to the latest, so that's what you've been seeing. So what you want to go to is smooth motion, and you want to turn that on, and that turns it on for this title specifically. And that's all you have to do. You can come back, hit play, and once it comes back, I'll jump into it and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so we have loaded everything back in, and as you can see, we're at 160 FPS, and we are on the quality preset with quality DLSS. So the smooth motion frames that are generated on the NVIDIA app level are definitely working. It gives you just a tremendous jump in FPS. And on a game like this, especially when it's already performing so well to begin with, I mean, that frame time graph is dead flat. That's so nice. And yeah, we are just rocking right along. This is a really good experience. So I wanted to run through the other settings with this smooth frames or smooth motion, whatever it's called, enabled. I'm probably butchering the name of it, but that's okay. You know exactly what I mean. All right, so let's go to quality presets. We're going to leave that there, and we're going to go down to balanced here. Not that you need this, but we are really pumping some frames out here. 200 FPS. This is saturating my monitor. This monitor is a 180 hertz monitor. So this is absolutely overkill for my experience. However, I wanted to show everybody everything. So you're getting well over 200 FPS here with a simple upscale and a tweak to the NVIDIA app, which is phenomenal. I mean, this is just such a nice experience. Look at that, 208 FPS. So even if a game does not natively support it, you can implement it now in at least some way. Now, it's not 2x, 3x, 4x. It's definitely not frame generation. Let me be very clear about that. It's not the same, but it is kind of a nice band-aid or go-between when a game does not support it. So this game might add it later, and in that case, of course, 3x or 4x would probably be implemented better because you'd be implementing it through the DLSS technology and not like through like an override kind of thing. But definitely great that they added this. I really do love this feature a lot for so many games, especially older games that don't have frame generation or came out a little bit before. That was implemented. It's just so nice to have at least some way to boost your frames, without relying on developers to have to go back in and do that. But anyway, let's jump down here and go back to options, and we're going to go to graphics, of course, and we are going to, went the wrong way. We're going to check it out again at balanced. Let's turn this off, no limit, and come back here, go back to DLSS and quality. All right, so this is quality DLSS with balanced, with a balanced preset, which mainly just gets rid of, like I said, that lumen reflections. It drops it down to screen space, which is a little bit older technology, but it does tend to be a little bit kinder on your hardware, a little bit easier to run. But in a game like this, I mean, there's not many reflections. Everything's pretty much like gray, dull, rocky, in like buildings and stuff. You might have some glass later on in the game that gives you a little bit of reflections, but it's definitely not like a huge difference. So, you know, just keep that in mind. It's not like you're going from like Psycho RT on Cyberpunk to no ray tracing. Like, it's just not that big of a difference, like it is in some titles. Like again, Cyberpunk's a massive difference when you got ray tracing on and off, but not in titles like this. All right, so yeah, we're just going to keep on going and see what we can expect on some more of these upscale settings. So we're going to go to balanced. This is balanced with that override. So balanced DLSS with a balanced preset, with the smooth motion frames turned on in the driver, and we are at 220 FPS. This is kind of like that harder to run area. Little tiny snag right there, nothing too bad. This game does run very, very well. So generally when it snags, it is right after I have changed a setting. So that can happen. You know, your games, you know, kind of have to straighten themselves out after you change these settings and stuff, and you can get a little snag here and there, especially after you adjust those settings. So we're going to forgive it. But yeah, we're looking pretty good, over 200 FPS. I mean, you're not going to have any problem here. I'm just kind of running through it for entertainment purposes only at this point. Yeah, so we are at 230, 240 FPS here. Absolutely just smooth as can be. VRAM allocation's nice. You're at 9.5 allocated using 8.0, just under 8 actually, depending on where you're at. 217 FPS. This is again like the little bit harder to run area, so this area can kind of be a little bit tougher than some, and you're still over 250 FPS. So I don't think there's any need to continue to, you know, worry about these settings, but just for the heck of it, let's see how high we can get. So let's go to let's come down here, go to my preset, just go ahead and get through all of it because we're here, why not? So performance, go to no limit, change this over to DLSS quality. We're going to run through these last settings on DLSS and call it a day. This gives you 233 FPS. Now, you did give up your epic lumen, but you still have lumen, and lumen is important to maintain the atmosphere of this game. Without the lumen, without that lumen set to high, I'm just going to show you what it would look like. It looks absolutely terrible. All right, so we're going to come down here. So your indirect lighting, if you turn that off, look at it. Ugh, God, it just looks like, I mean, it looks like PS3 graphics to me or something without that atmosphere. It's just a huge difference. You do get a nice boost in your FPS, but it's just not worth it. I mean, I like to have it on. I just wanted to show you that real quick as a, you know, didn't mean to distract or anything, but that's just kind of like, I wanted to show you that. So let's go back to balanced. So we're on the performance preset, balanced DLSS, and that gives you 260 FPS. So I am absolutely thrilled with how this is running, especially on this resolution. This is how games should run. This is still Unreal Engine 5. This proves it can be done. Now, Konami is a huge studio, and I'm sure they have plenty of resources to obtain the best talent when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, you know, the smaller studios, they do jump into Unreal 5 because it looks good, and then I think they quickly realize that they either run out of time to learn how to handle this engine, because it is a great engine, but the way you have to implement things is totally different, and it stumbles a lot of teams, I think, and I think that's what we're experiencing. So when I say this game runs fine and runs great, I'm not dunking on smaller studios that have less resources, who can't seem to wrangle this engine. You know, it's kind of one of those bite off more than you can chew situations, I think, because they've also probably got investors banging the door down trying to get these games out that are unfinished or rushed. And, you know, I have a lot of empathy for developers right now because these studios are getting scooped up by people who don't really play games or understand the, you know, whole atmosphere of it, and they're just in it to make money, and I think that's a shame. But, you know, hopefully things will get better and people will start to learn that you cannot rush games. It's better to delay it and it be good than release a bad game. That is just my belief altogether, and this is a game that released and it runs well, so that's kind of nice to see. All right, let's go to the very next level and then call it a day. So let's go to Performance DLSS, and we are on the Performance preset with the smooth motion frames. Let's see how high we can get. I want to see if we can get over 300. I just want to come down here and see what it'll do, because that'd be insane to have an Unreal Engine 5 with no stutters and over 300 FPS. That would be phenomenal. Well, it looks like we're not going to do it, but we're going to get pretty close. 194, almost 300. Damn. All right. Anyway, this has been Silent Hill deep dive look with the 5080 on 3440 by 1440p widescreen. If you have any other games you would like to see with a widescreen setting, and what GPU you'd like to test with, or would like me to test with, just let me know in the comments. And of course, everything that I used in this video will be linked in the description below with Amazon links. Those do help support the channel. You don't have to purchase the thing you clicked on. You can click on RTX 5080 and buy a blender, and that still helps me, as long as you check out within 24 hours of clicking that link. I know that was a mouthful, but a lot of people don't know that you don't even need to buy the thing that you clicked on. And it does help me out. That's just how Amazon works. But that's a small way that doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps me become more able to purchase cards and screens like I have done in the past, and that just would really be beneficial. So if you're down for that, great. If not, no pressure at all. The only thing I want you to do is subscribe if you haven't, and share this with someone who you think might get something out of this, and we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.